The New York Jets just fell short to the Denver Broncos. Final score 10 Denver, New York 9. I mean, this game was a slugfest from the beginning. The weather was not it, but none of that is an excuse. You know, there was the miss there. You can argue it's hard to kick the field goal, whatever. No, I don't care about any of that. The Jets were coming rough, riding high against the victory against the New England Patriots, and we got too confident. And there was just so many disciplinary things that hurt us. I mean, the Jets, there's so many self-inflicted wounds here. I mean, the Denver Broncos offense had 60, Bo Nix had 60 passing yards, and we had 90 yards caused by penalty, given up by penalty. I mean, that just says it in itself. They got to Rodgers 5 times. He was sacked 5 times. The offensive line looked at its worst all season. I mean, we lost Morgan Moses, and he's out for a little bit due to his injury, but it just seemed like there was no protection. It was bad weather conditions, no protection. Breece Hall had one of his worst games I've seen this through his whole career. We couldn't execute on the 1-yard line because there was a flag that drew them back. I mean, you're going to lose games when stuff like this happens, especially self-inflicted wounds. I mean, losing to the Broncos, I'm not out here trying to underestimate the Denver Broncos. They just destroyed the Buccaneers last week. I mean, the Broncos can play football, especially defense. Hats off to them. They had our number. They limited our offense. They stopped the run. They shut down Garrett Wilson. You know, they gave Rodgers had 200-plus yards in the air, but we couldn't get any offensive touchdown on their defense. I mean, their defense stopped us. And then Bo Nix gets his first passing touchdown this season when our defense blows coverage and he gets a wide-open touchdown pass. But other than that, our defense was phenomenal. I mean, the way that we were able to get the ball back and possibly win things, like the way that we were able to get the ball back and get an opportunity after their missed field goal attempt, and then we lose because of a missed field goal, it's just, I don't know. Like these are games that you need to win. And I definitely think we came out overconfident. I don't think that we estimated our opponent. I don't think that we were prepared. I don't think that our offensive line, the way that we held up for Rodgers, that's not good. That needs to get fixed up. Rodgers looked like he was injured, limping. Hopefully he was okay. I didn't see the injury report there. But, yeah, I mean, even Aaron Rodgers on the bench, just utter disappointment, looked sad, frustrated, just like all of us Jets fans. We had an opportunity. Like, in the NFL, you're not going to get gimmies. And we had a gimme because they missed the field goal. And we couldn't clean up our own mistakes. We couldn't just end it and get the win. It's just a lot of questions from a coaching standpoint, you know, a player standpoint. I mean, there's some positives. I don't want to be negative. I mean, Quincy Williams played amazing. Jamie Sherwood stepping up for C.J. Mosley once again played amazing, very fast. And this is nothing against the Denver Broncos. I mean, every game that they've played so far has been close. When they played the Steelers, it was close. When they played the Seahawks, it was close. They beat the Buccaneers. And them coming here, you know, knowing how well their defense has been playing, we all knew it could be close. I mean, it was bad weather. It was going to be a slugfest because of how bad the weather was. But when you're on the 1-yard line and the self-inflicted wounds, the penalties, the offsides, the false starts, and you have 90 yards, you give up 90 yards of penalties, and you have more yards and penalties than the quarterback has in air all game, you should lose. So I just think that these things need to be cleaned up. I mean, now the Broncos have the same record that we do. We're both 2-2. You know, it hurts us because later on down the line in a playoff race, you know, if we're trying to get into the wild card, they have the upper hand on us now because we lost this game, a conference matchup game. So, brutal watch, brutal execution. It shouldn't have ever went down to the field goal. If we just executed and didn't have half as many penalties and got in the end zone, found a way to get in the end zone once, just like how a rookie did on our defense, we win this game. You know, it shouldn't have went down to a field goal attempt. I mean, obviously that can happen due to weather, due to just the fact that there's no lock in any week with the NFL. Everything's unpredictable. But we shouldn't have ever gotten to that point. We had this game, and we should have executed better on the offensive side of the ball. So that's all I got for you today. It's going to be a tough task flying across the pond to play the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold proved it again. You know, he's cooking right now, so he's going to have to match up against our defense. And look, if the Jets want to compete, if we want to be respected, just like how we were last Thursday, you got to win games that are theirs. They got to win the games, and they can't hurt themselves like they did today. So that's all I got today. Hopefully we clean up those things. Go Jets.